Let me let me shut this door also, man. I'm sorry. I
It's
don't
all good.
realize a little noisy over here. Add a little light to this joint.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
All right, and we live. Welcome to the Rome Show. I got a special guest, Derrick. How you
Special.
doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't know if I'm a special guest, but I'm here.
Yeah, most definitely. For your, your creativity and the things that you do, definitely
Nah, I
special guest.
appreciate it, boss. I appreciate you having me.
Definitely appreciate you for taking time coming on the show. So, for the ones on my platform that don't know, you want to tell them who you are, what you do?
So yeah, Derrick McKinney, CEO of a record company called Loud Music. Loud stands for Live Out Your Dreams. We're based out of here in Houston, Texas. We're a record company, man. We love music. We love to release music. We do our marketing, our branding, our sales. We do festivals. We have Loud Fest coming up November 1st. We do the Loud Radio and Press Junket. That's every summer. We do the Make Music Day Festival with the city of Houston. We do the House of Blues the first Thursday of every month. And we do a lot of events to help curate an audience for our sound, for our music, for our artists, as well as our touring side of things and our merchandise side of things. So we're a full-blown record company. That's what we do 24/7, 365.
Super fire, super fire. So, there's lots of people, who dream to be like to do what you do, to be in your position. How did it all start? Let's take it back to the beginning.
Man, excuse me. It started doing street team work, passing out flyers, man. I was at a venue and a guy put like 6 to 8 flyers on my car. And I was like, why are you putting all these flyers on my window? And he was like, yo, they pay me like $600 a week to do this. So I was like, damn. So I grabbed the flyers and got the number off the flyers and called them. And I had like three of them give me a shot, 3 or 4 of them give me a shot. And I said, hey, I can do this for $300 a week. And they gave me a shot. And so me and my friends was going out all over the city of Houston, getting in clubs free, parties for free. And I've just always been able to talk to people and love music, love the energy, love the marketing, love, introducing products to people. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And I started traveling on my own and looking up stuff, just figuring out ways to get in the business, finding different music conferences, different music events. And it just kind of step by step, it just eventually grew.
Super fire, and that's very important. Like especially like when you're first starting, going out, getting yourself out there, learning new things, traveling. Um, what was it that you said? This is what I got to do. This is what I'm gonna do.
It never felt like work. Even when I was broke, poor, didn't have a nickel, it never felt like work. Still to this day, it never feels like work. And that's when I knew. I had a job. I was working for Shell Oil in their computer programming department. And at the time, 18 years old, making like $25 an hour doing computer programming, I was killing it, living at home with my mom and stuff. But for me, it was like, man, I hated going. I did not like it. But being able to be out, meet people, hear music, make relationships, and I realized I was moving on my own in my own terms, and I just saw like, you know what, I could probably make as much money as I want to make. It just depends on my work ethic and what I'm willing to put into it. And man, I was like, it came easy. Some kids can run fast. Some kids like, oh, he's gonna be tall. He's gonna be a basketball player. Some kids, oh, she's beautiful. She's gonna be a model. She's gonna be an actress. I was a kid that just knew business. And so the music business came very, very easy to me. And I think it became I'm not gonna say it came easy to me. I loved it so much immediately. I didn't see the difficulties. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not saying there weren't any difficulties. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. I'm just saying that hey, I was blinded by love. I didn't see what was wrong with it. You know, I was just happy to be here.
Right. And let's take it back real quick to when you said like when you was broke, you didn't have nothing. Like every day, like what were some things you personally told yourself to continue to do it, keep trying and not stop?
You know what, man? I knew what I was supposed to be doing. There was never a doubt in my mind. I had an eviction in the same year in a few months span. My car got repossessed, lights were turned out, got evicted from our apartment, and now we live in a house with multiple cars across the street from those apartments. So it's like I never once thought like, man, maybe I should do something different. I always thought like, nah, I just need to go harder at what I'm doing. I just need to push myself more. If I did 6 hours, now you need to do 10. Whatever I needed to do, I needed to do more. And that's what was uh, I've always told myself. It was never about maybe I'm doing the wrong thing or maybe I should do something different. It was always just do more, just go a little harder. That's always been my thing. Stop, Marty.
Right. Great story, man. So like during like the hard times and like the storms, how did you keep going? I know you said you had to drive. It was in you, it's in your blood, but like, what were some things you did day to day?
Man, I would get up early and I would do the same thing over and over again. I would do more. If I went to 5 venues to promote, this time I went to 8 or 9 venues. Then also, I had a new wife, had a kid, um, and I just was like, yo, how can I not succeed with them here looking at me? So a lot of people look for different ways to motivate themselves. A lot of people look for ways to um, find this magnificent speech or motivation to get up and go. I, my motivation is looking at me every day. My motivation has to have food on the table for them. So I think we look for so many outside sources and different people and different things to give us that energy, that motivation we need. And when really the whole time it should be in you. The whole time it should be about who you are. Do you want to? What do you want? He's grabbing my arm. This is what he does. Stop, Marty. Um, so I didn't need. I was never. I'm not gonna say I wasn't down in the dumps. I just don't believe in staying there. And it's not like some motivational thing of where like, oh no, you gotta rah rah this and rah rah that. No, not at all. It was more or less along the lines of let me fix this. Like, now there's a problem here. Let me do something different. Like that's what I needed to do. That's what I had to do, and that's what I focused on. I focused on getting better. I read more books. Um, I went to more venues. I made more phone calls. I just did more. I knew what I was doing was right because it wasn't like I was making mistakes. It just wasn't generating revenue as soon as I wanted it to. So I just had to. I just knew I had to stick with it, and it made me feel good, even on the bad days. And the the universe and the world and God has its way of giving you little nuggets to keep going. So even in the worst moments, it would either be a phone call or out of the blue, here's an opportunity for $3,000. Like
Hmm.
it's the 31st day of the month and tomorrow's the first, and I did not know where it was gonna come from. And it came on the 31st. Paid it on the first, and I knew for the next 30 days I had to grind again. So it's like those moments will happen. Like I said, you just got to be able to recognize them. You just got to be able to understand them. You just got to be able to realize, like, okay, hey, this is my opportunity to get after it. And you can't, you know how we say we can speak things into existence?
Yeah.
It's the Same thing with positivity. If you stay focused and if you stay locked in and you stay on your grind, the things that are supposed to cross your path and come your way, it'll happen. The only time it don't happen is when you start to veer left, veer right. You start to move differently. You start to um, doubt yourself. You start to second guess what you're supposed to be doing. You start to really, really not buy into your own belief. You don't buy into what you set out to do. That's when things go wrong for you.
That's a good one right there. So from, you first starting to where you are now, how did you cross paths and start working with Little Flip?
So I actually back in the day worked with Lil Flip. I was a part of the promo team that worked on the song "I Can Do That." So the main people that was working on it was in Ohio. Um, Judy Jones was J Jones Entertainment. My guy Dorian Washington, who's one of the biggest record executives in the world right now. Um, my guy Lucky in Indianapolis and my guy X in Cleveland. They were all a part of that song in the Midwest, and they was like, "Nah, Derrick, this is about to blow up. This is about to be a huge record." And I was like, "Okay, cool, we'll stick with it." And so, even though I was in Houston and Flip was from Houston, I got the project via the Midwest back to Houston. And so that's how me and him first connected. And then as years went on and I'm doing my thing and he's obviously doing his thing, he was like, "Hey man, we crossed paths because he needed management. He parted ways with his old manager." And he was like, "Man, you think outside the box, you think national, you think global, you know, I ain't no street dude, I ain't no hood dude. That's not my personality, that's not my character, that's not my thing." And he was just like, "That's what I need representing me." So we sat down, had a conversation. I think we met New Year's Day 2021 and shook hands and did what we did, and we've been rocking ever since.
Congrats on that. That's a major
That's,
move. I mean, how you feel about that? Because that's major.
well, I mean, I think the way my personality is set up is that anything that's major that comes through the city of Houston, I feel pissed if it don't come through my hands. Like I'm competitive. I'm super competitive, bro. So I feel like I'm supposed to work with the legend in my city. Like it's not. I don't feel like, oh, you're lucky or like no, 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 no. This is what I'm supposed to do. So, and I don't want to sound like a asshole or nothing and not be appreciative, but like, yo, this is the reason for the work. This is the reason for the books. This is the reason for the evictions. This is the reason for the repossession. This is the reason for that. And so when I am in these positions, it was like, no, you're supposed to be there. This is what was supposed to happen because you did the work to get there.
Right. And nobody knows behind the scenes, all the storms, all the hard work, everything you did to get to that. So you deserve that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problems today, bro. Nobody shows the if anybody out there follows anything that we do with loud music, we show more behind the scenes than the final product. We show the behind the scenes of the photo shoot way more than we ever show the photo shoot. The making of the music, the making of the shows, the making of the events. Because we want people to actually see the work. We want you to see the rehearsals and hear the bad notes and see how we messed up and see how we corrected it. And I think there's not enough transparency in music today. That's why so many people think it's so easy to do. That's why so many people think, oh, I don't see any of the bad days. I don't see the breakups. I don't see the no money. I don't see the lights being off. I don't see the cell phone being disconnected. I don't know those things ever exist. So I can just jump in and I should be successful too. I think that that's a huge problem in the music industry. So I don't mind being transparent, letting people know, like, no, it's not easy. But again, like I said earlier, it's my love for it blinded me from the things that could go wrong or the things that were wrong. I didn't see it. I felt like that, hey, that was just part of the process.
Right. Right on. Gotta be like that. What's one good memory that you have with Little Flip when he was like, "This is life changing"?
Um, so I'm not life change, and it is no disrespect, obviously, to Flip at all. That's my brother. But again, bro, I think the key to it is I expected it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have those moments where like, oh my goodness, like this, because I don't feel like I've done nowhere near enough. I haven't had those moments yet. Regardless of what I have done, what I have said in my mind, what I have said for our team, we haven't scratched the surface yet. So it's phenomenal to be able to just pick up the phone and rock with my bro. And oh yeah, he just so happened to be a dude that sold 22 million records. I think that's a blessing and it's amazing. But at the same time, I feel like, yo, we haven't done enough. I haven't had that moment, that life changing moment yet.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely coming. That's why we're working towards it. Um, but I try not to be one of those guys, man. And I don't want to sound like some fucking cliche or somebody who's just so pessimistic about things, but I think that it's just so wild that today so many people are hanging their hats on little league football trophies when the rest of the world is in the NFL. And people are celebrating the smallest, and you celebrate your victories and feel good about it, but there aren't game changers. You know, I'm looking for those game changing moments. I'm looking for those moments where, like, oh, this took me to another level. This elevated our team and our brand to a spot where now we're mentioned amongst so many other greats and so many other legends. That's when those things start happening is when I'll be like, okay, yeah, now we're doing something. But I feel like we have so much more work to do. We have so much more so many more spaces to grow in. To where it's like I can't allow myself to be like, oh, we've done this, we haven't done enough yet. Because I have peers who are executives in the industry and they've sold 14 million records. I have peers who have introduced some legends to the game. And I'm like, I haven't introduced a legend. I've worked with legends. Hell, I worked with R. Kelly for 6 years. I worked for Fubu. I did the D12 on the D12 song single Purple Pills on Interscope. I broke the record Chopper Style. I did Mr. Magic, I Smoke, I Drink. But I wasn't the person to discover and introduce them to the world. So that's my mission. My mission is to introduce the next legend, not just be a part of a legend.
Right. Definitely see what you're saying. Um, Being a manager, what's some of the biggest lessons you learned about artist management?
It's patience and having a great understanding, and you have to be able to adjust and problem solve immediately. And it's almost not even problem solve immediately. You got to solve them before they happens. You got to be able to be two steps ahead of everybody and everything. If you not just as a manager, as a record executive, you know, there are 4 artists on my label that I'm the CEO of that they have their own managers. I think in any leadership position, your job is to be 4 or 5 steps ahead and to be able to foreshadow and foresee whatever problems that could come. No, you're not going to always prevent them all, but at least if I know it's about to happen, it's like, you know, a lot of times people say it's about to be an accident, brace for impact. Well, knowing it's about to be an accident and I can brace, okay, cool. I can figure it out after that. But the key to leadership in any executive role is being able to foresee the problems. I always say be proactive versus reactive. If my if I'm only good after something happens, then I'm not good.
Go on. When opportunities like fell through or people told you no, what was your mindset and next move?
Oh, I would ask them why. And it just so like, and I'm like, okay, so why not? And I would tell them this is not to change your mind. I just need to know so moving forward, I know what to do differently. And I'm not one of those people like they people love to say a no is just short for not right now, and all of these things is like, no, sometimes a no is a no. And you gotta understand sometimes those doors are closed because what was on the other side of it just wasn't meant for you. Sometimes that can be a blessing. And we force and force and force it, and we get in situations like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have did that. But you were told no, and you didn't want to accept it. So it's having that discernment on when something's for you and when it's not. So I get a million no's every day, damn near feels like, and I'll ask why. Sometimes I'll get a no, then I'll go back and I'll go through my notes and I'll go back through the meeting and I'll try to figure out like what went wrong. Then I realize like, damn, that wasn't meant for me anyway. So I always try to learn from them. We always supposed to learn from no's. We're supposed to learn from our wins. Um, but I always do my best to have the mindset of if somebody tells me no, I'm not going to force it anymore. If you couldn't see what I saw, then cool. I just have to do a better job of making myself a priority to the situation. It's not on you to give me something. It's on me to make myself a priority in that room, in that meeting, to where you want to do whatever I need. You want to do whatever I'm asking for just because it's me.
Absolutely. Definitely gotta be like that. Um, being in the music business, how important has networking and relationship building been for success as a manager?
It's everything. It's everything. As a manager, as a CEO of a record company, because I was a CEO of the record company before I was a manager. So being a CEO of Loud Music is what made the artists come to me for management. But we were already rocking and rolling with Tim Ned, Khody Blake, Skyrah Bliss, Chris Murdoch, formerly known as Fat Pimp. Like we were already rocking and rolling with them before Little Flip reached out to us. So as a CEO, as a record executive, relationships are everything. Relationships is what led to the management. Being a CEO of a record company, you better have more relationships than you have money or you're going to go broke. So having a good relationship and having a good name means everything.
Absolutely. Um, Looking back, what's the smartest move that you made as a manager to go about how you move and how you do things and handle business?
So what let me say this. It's I've done so much more than just management. So the smartest thing I ever done was bet on me. And that's whether if it's as a CEO of a record company, whether if it was working for some of the biggest clothing lines in the world, or whether if it was managing an artist. I believe in Derrick McKinney more than I believe in anybody else. I believe in Derrick McKinney more than I believe in any product. Um, Being a manager is only this much of what is made up of Derrick McKinney. Um, it's I take a lot of pride in being an executive, and I think sometimes we get caught up in titles that don't never really tell the full story. Because even as a manager, I'm still doing the marketing, the branding, the booking, the sales, setting up the releases on a lot of things. And sometimes people with the word manager just think you are catering to that one individual or those that this group of artists here. It's like, nah, I'm a record executive. I don't even use the title manager because we do so much more than management. And I think that that's the key to approaching all sides of the industry today is you just have to be an all-out executive because the minute you put a title on, you limit yourself to just that role. And everybody has to play multiple roles now.
Good advice. Good advice. Um, I really appreciate you for taking time coming on the podcast. I got one more question for you.
Yeah, what you got? What you got?
Actually, two.
Okay.
So, from you being who you are and being out in Houston, anybody who hasn't been to Houston that goes to Houston, what's like the first best two food spots they gotta go to?
Uh, so this is wild, right? This is really, really wild. We have a spot here, and I wouldn't even say it's a Houston food spot. But my favorite restaurant in Houston right now is a spot called K-Pot.
Okay.
It's the Korean barbecue where you're grilling stuff at your table and you got your own broth to make your own pho or ramen and all of that stuff. Um, but for Houston staples, you got the Breakfast Club. It's the Houston staple. The chicken and waffles, fish and grits, um, Esther's Soul Food. That's a phenomenal place. Frenchie's, the best fried chicken in America, hands down, no questions asked. The Homie Buns Trail Burger. You never know who you'll see in there. Houston has a food culture. You can get the best Chinese food. You can get the best Mexican food. You can get the best barbecue. You can get the best Cajun food. You can get the best soul food. You can get the best vegan food. Like, our food culture here is amazing. And you can get some of the best of whatever you're looking for in the city.
How's the pizza out there?
Pizza, we got this place called Grimaldi's. I think they're a chain, but they're really good. Star Pizza is really good. Um, I wouldn't say Houston is just known for pizza. Like, it's like you don't go to Paris, France, and order a hamburger, right? Or you
Right.
don't come to Houston to order pizza. It's so much stuff here, like our Cajun hibachi. Like, why would you eat a slice of pizza and you can go get Cajun hibachi? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a steakhouse, Winston Prime. Man, it's a phenomenal black-owned steakhouse. Well, I won't say a steakhouse, a fine dining establishment. Um, but the food is so amazing. They got like this sweet Thai chili cauliflower. Oh man, it's so good. So it's so many different things that's here. Yes, pizza is here. You can get pizza anywhere, but I wouldn't come to Houston for pizza.
Oh, that stuff sound mad good too.
Yeah.
And last question. When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy for you and your brand and Derrick to be?
Man, I want to make history. Um, I want to be known as somebody who actually did it, who actually changed the culture of music. I don't want to just be another just music executive, just a person in the music business. Um, when they say Russell Simmons and Clive Davis and Barry Gordy and Steve Stout and L.A. Reid, I want them to say Derrick McKinney. I want to be mentioned amongst some of the greatest who've ever lived and who've ever done it. I want my legacy to be one to where my kids are proud to carry the last name. Libraries or schools or buildings named after us. I want to make history. I want to do something life changing and game changing for our community, for Black culture, for Black people. I want us to realize that we're so much more and we could do so much more. And I think that happens through leading by example. So I have to do it to be able to show my kids, my family, my friends, my great soon to be grandkids, like, wow, that's our bloodline. That's our last name.
Right, man. Super legendary, man. It's a special episode. I appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
And I appreciate the invite, boss. I appreciate the invite. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, man. Have a good day.
You too, brothers. Take care.
All right. Peace. Yeah, man. It's your boy Go Roam TV. This is a special episode. Just had Little Flip's manager up here, Derrick. You know, record label executive. He's in the game. He's been in the game. Shout out to Houston, Texas. This is the first Houston, Texas person that I got on the podcast. And so be it. Somebody in the music industry, not just the music industry, but he does a bunch of things. And yeah, man, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Go Roam TV, the Rome Show podcast. on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts. It's your boy Go Wrong TV, and I'm out. Much love. Peace.